Hello everyone, it's Melinda here with CatSmashPuzzles, and today we're doing another 550-piece puzzle, and this one is called New York Romance, one of the travel diary collections from Masterpieces, and this is actually the artist Dominique Davidson, and you might be familiar with that name. Number one, he's a pretty well-known artist in the puzzle community, and two, he was the artist behind Bow Bridge Beauty, which was the 2026 U.S. Nationals final circular puzzle where I placed 7th. So I'm super excited to see that this is actually one of his artistic works, and we're joined here by Miss Buns, and I was excited to see that this was one of his artworks. And we're going to do something different with this puzzle today because I've been kind of stuck ever since Nationals. You know, I've been doing the Zoom competitions, just kind of placing the same place I've been, sitting at, having a hard time getting sub 40 times. So I'm deciding to do different techniques. And so on this puzzle specifically, I'm going to, number one, flip all the pieces. This is a must. I should not be building the puzzle as I'm flipping all the pieces. And I will also be pulling the border at the same time. I have done this a few times and I tend not to like it. I'm slow, I'm not methodical at it, and I don't tend to do the border first anyway. So my goal with this is to try to see if I can do the border relatively quickly. Because a lot of speed puzzlers do the border first. It keeps kind of a containment of the puzzle field, and it's overall a good starting point. But I don't work that way. I'm a pick and place kind of gal, and I just function a bit differently than a lot of people do. But I really need to figure out if it's a technique that can be done for maybe a puzzle that requires it. If it's a very, very difficult puzzle, a border is probably a very good place to start. So I do need to practice this method a little bit. But I also really need to see if I can maybe try to improve my sorting and my flipping abilities. I literally just came from Christina and Shay. We were doing the team puzzles for speedpuzzling.com's June competitions, and they'll be posted once the competition occurs. And there was a technique we decided to use because we've been trying different things as well as a team of 3. And apparently there's a technique that I seem to excel at. My flipping got immensely faster. I seemed a bit more organized. I seemed a bit more, functional. And so it's a technique I'm going to do in the future, but I don't have all the materials with me right now to do it. So I can't do it with this puzzle, but it will definitely be happening in the next week or so, because if I saw the same results as I just did today, I might be getting 5 to 10 minutes faster. Maybe. That's a big if, but we'll see. But that's our goal with this one today. New York Romance. We're going to flip all the pieces, pull the border pieces, and do the border first. Now, since this is a 550-piece puzzle, the time goals are a little bit different. And since this is a different technique than what I'm normally used to, I'm expecting myself to be a bit slower. So all I'm going to do is hopefully stay under the hour for this. 50 extra pieces. I'm not really trying to do a competition goal with this. It is simply trying to improve my technique. And that's what I'm going to do with this one. Will I get under the hour? Maybe. I think I'm going to be over it just a little bit because of the technique I'm going to be utilizing. But otherwise, it's going to be a fun puzzle. I think it's very pretty, and buildings are my strength. But yep, I think I'll probably end up starting with the sky, though, because it's just kind of very easy to spot. And alrighty. Well, New York Romance. Let's smash it. Well, this was kind of shocking. This was New York Romance by Masterpieces, 550 pieces, and it is the artist Dominique Davidson. And honestly, first things first, let's kind of go over the time here. 43:43, which is completely shocking because I was simply just trying to stay under the hour, and the fastest time I had done a 550-piece puzzle was 52 minutes. I definitely thought I would be over 50 minutes on this puzzle because 50 extra pieces adds more compounding difficulties, and doing this technique of doing the border first, I figured I would be kind of slow at getting this puzzle together. Well, sort of. Let's kind of start from the beginning. So I did stick to my guns. I basically flipped all the pieces and sorted the border. That took me about 4.5 minutes, which I think is way too slow. Now, I expect it to be slower than simply flipping the pieces. The flipping the pieces should be under 3 minutes. 3 minutes should be the max, basically, for that. So the sorting of the border added about 1.5 minutes extra on top of it. And it's not the worst, but it's not the best. And almost 5 minutes into a puzzle, you have nothing put together. Really does kind of make me feel, self-conscious. It's like I've wasted 5 minutes at this point, and I'm used to simply just starting the puzzle, even not flipping all the way. But this is something I'm trying to figure out different tactics, because I've been doing the same thing over and over again for the last couple months. My improvement has been slim to none, basically. I've not gotten worse, I'll say that, but I haven't improved. And so this is just a test of different skills and different strategies so I can hopefully improve and be more consistently under that 40-minute mark. So 4.5 minutes in, I got the border sorted, I had all the pieces flipped out. I put the border together, and that took me until the 10-minute mark. So I'm now 10 minutes into this, and all I got to show for it is the border. I did miss about 2 to 3 border pieces, which is okay, and that's usually kind of what happens. You don't always get all of them. But I felt like I was like, oh, this is going to be not a very good time. I can just sense it. I was feeling kind of down about it. And surprisingly, this must be like an older version of Masterpieces, because this felt a little false-fitty a few times. It wasn't horrible, but there was a couple pieces that I put in the wrong spot a few times. But the border was easy. Like, there was no difficulty. I knew exactly, like, the ground here, the sky, the buildings. It was very distinguishable border, and so it wasn't a hard border to put together. But I was now at the 10-minute mark, and all I got to show for it was the border. So what happened? How did I get this done in 33 minutes? How did I get 500 pieces? No. I think there's like 86 or 82 pieces in the border on a Ravensburger, and that's a 500 piece. The pieces are a little bit bigger, so maybe the border is about 100 pieces. So I have 450 pieces left to put in. So in basically 33 minutes, I put 450 pieces together. So I do have the capacity to get under 40 minutes. I just got to be able to do it. Now, I do think this puzzle specifically went to my strengths. I'm very good at buildings and bridges. And this is also the artist that did the Bow Bridge Beauty, and I excelled at that at Nationals. So I think there was a combination of things going. I had also been doing a lot of team puzzles with Shay and Christina today. So I thought that I would be a little tired and that would affect me. But sometimes when I team up with them or pair up with Christina, it energizes me, and for some reason that actually bumps my speed. So I think that contributed just a little bit for this puzzle. But I simply do think that this drawing, this painting, is my strength. And because of that, I think my time reflects it. So, will I use this technique in the future? I will, but I think I'm going to have to do it on a very specific puzzle. The border has to be easy, kind of like this one. Borders anywhere complicated, or it's not going to shout out to me, I'm not going to do it. And unfortunately, in competition, you do have kind of a split second to make that decision. I usually will probably go back to what I'm comfortable with, but I think that this was a good choice to practice the border first. And, I think that this was a good success story of changing tactics. So I did mention at the beginning, I have found a possible new technique that might actually bump my speed even more, and I estimated 5 to 10 minutes, and I think that's a bit of an exaggeration. At least 5 minutes max, maybe 2 to 3 minutes. But that's kind of all I need to bump myself under 40 minutes. 2 to 3 minutes is kind of what I need to average down in order to stay under that 40-minute mark. So it involves puzzle trays, and I have been avoiding these like the plague because I figured they would not be good for me. They'd be in my way. They'd be something else I have to deal with. Well, I'll demonstrate this technique to you once I get the puzzle trays that I want. But I do think I know why it worked for me, and I'll explain to you when I get those puzzle trays. But as for New York Romance, 550 pieces, under 45 minutes, we definitely smashed it. Thanks so much for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe. I will see y'all next time. Bye-bye.